94.3, the Ox Little Wayland for you, and I have always been crazy. On your Monday ride, 8:29 now, time for Coffee Talk, brought by the Comanche Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture. Check them out at #Explore Comanche, Texas, as we welcome in and say good morning to a bright-eyed and bushy-tailed Cynthia Newton with Hope Counseling. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. When are you going to let it rain?
I was just fixing to ask you the same thing. You beat me to the punch. If it was up to me, it would have happened a long time ago.
We got a little bit of rain. But
and to add insult to injury, it's water in the cement up in the Metro Mist. We talked about this before we went on air. They've had, what did you say, Granbury's had 6 inches?
I think I was told it was, Granbury had 8 inches.
8
or
inches.
Something like that. And, Metroplex had like 6 inches.
And flooded.
People
People driving off into stuff they shouldn't be driving into like they do.
And we're just puddles here.
It's not even spitting rain now. But, it was misting.
I guess we'll get our due. I mean, we've got to forecast it for 2 weeks. Maybe we'll get a.
They're like 10 a.m. this morning. It's supposed to rain. I'm going to hold you to that.
No kidding.
It's Texas. You're going to tell me what time it's going to rain? Yeah, right.
That's right. So I'm starting a more than one. Y'all sometimes know I like to do radio shows that are kind of like build on each other.
To be continued.
Yeah, I kind of like, it's kind of fun, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit. So, I was looking up stuff and thinking, and trust is such a huge thing in all types of relationships with kids, relationships with romantic partners, I mean, everything. And when trust is broken, it becomes such a huge thing. It's not like it's more easily broken than it is regained, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, we can't just snap our fingers and,
I'll never do that again. I won't. I promise I won't.
Break it. Absolutely not. So, I mean, so it's really kind of good to look at different ways to rebuild that trust in all relationships. But I want to kind of start today by talking a little bit about what trust is, okay? Things that can break trust, because it's not necessarily just cheating. I mean, everybody thinks about cheating is the only way that you can break trust in a relationship, right? Or infidelity or something like that. A pattern of going back on your word or breaking promises, not being there for your partner in a time of need, withholding or keeping something back, lying or manipulation, a pattern of not sharing feelings openly. I mean, those things absolutely can cause a break in trust. Now, when you look at signs of trust in a relationship, you want to think about this. You feel committed to the relationship and your partner. You feel safe with your partner and know they'll respect physical and emotional boundaries. Your partner listens when you communicate your needs and your feelings. Communication. Imagine that. Communication. Huge. That is huge. I mean, it is
pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's huge in everything. Absolutely. And it's such a big thing.
And it's a lost art if it doesn't involve the phone these days, right?
You are right. You are right.
Just face to face. Some of these kids.
Yes, we don't know how to communicate face to face anymore. So people's attitudes about trust actually originate in their families of origin and are impacted by their adult relationships. Children yearn to trust their parents, and their need can be projected on romantic partners. Interesting thought.
Sure.
Components involved in rebuilding trust include listening to the person's feelings, empathizing, and showing responsibility for one's actions. Satisfying relationships are built on a foundation of safety and trust that you won't be hurt physically or emotionally. Whether you trust too little or too much is influenced by your past. But once trust is broken, your sense of safety is in jeopardy. You feel insecure, and you may begin to question your partner's honesty, motives, intentions, feelings, and actions. Secrets and lies affect the entire relationship. Walls start to grow when you try to protect yourself. Take these steps to repair the relationship. So I'm going to just kind of, again, do a little bit.
Second time that's ever happened. Melissa K, you know better than to call this.
Back to reality.
Bad, Melissa K. Bad.
So we're gonna talk, like I said, a little bit of an overview today, and over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get into some details about different types of relationships and long-distance relationships, and other types of relationships to help navigate trust in those and rebuild trust when it's not there, even with your children. I mean, it's like, how quickly can our kids break our trust? It happens. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And kids think, again, I mean, it's that, kids think, hey, you know what, mom's going to trust me again. No, you gotta rebuild that trust. You did something you shouldn't have on your phone, so you don't get the keys to the kingdom again. It
Not that
doesn't
quick.
work that way. No. All right, so I lost my place. If you've been betrayed in prior relationship or trust was a problem in your family growing up, then you're apt to be on the lookout for signs of distrust. It's like this natural thing, because you have been, you start going, okay, everybody's gonna hurt me, or everybody's gonna, it's just an easy thing to go to. If you're in denial or have unresolved anger or hurt from your past, you run the risk of either provoking problems in a new relationship where none exist, or on the other hand, unconsciously attracting untrustworthy partners. Isn't that interesting?
I've seen this.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've suffered trauma or abuse, you may be prone to distrust people, or the reverse, and trust too easily.
Mm-hmm.
Some people do both. The reason may lie in growing up in a dysfunctional family. All right, so one thing that we look at is, of course, everybody's heard of addictions. And addictions is not just alcohol and drugs. There's lots of other types of addictions that can happen in families. But if you grew up where there were addictions or family secrets, the family's denial about it is a lie. So children learn to distrust their parents and their own perceptions of reality. Usually parents are well-intentioned and try to minimize or deny the truth about what's going on to protect their children. It's confusing to children who see through their parents' statements. They learn young to see through that. Other times parents make excuses and lie to look good or defend their position and hide their own guilt or shame. Parents also blame children to avoid their own responsibility. So think about this. Children who blame other people, they're learning it from parents who blame them. It's a cycle, and break or deny promises. Further undermining trust between parents and children. When parents don't follow through with commitments, show up where they're supposed to on time, or have inconsistent, arbitrary, or unfair punishments, they also break their children's trust. The same goes for neglect, adultery, criminality, and physical or emotional abuse or abandonment. All right, so the following factors work together and can cause you to trust too easily. Wanting to trust, often when you haven't been able to, or you weren't trusted, that desire for that. Idolizing authority figures or partners in romantic relationships, putting them on this high threshold that they can't, they can't do anything wrong. Dependency, needing the relationship. This is huge. When you have that need for a relationship, that can actually work against you and cause you to trust way too easily. So although untrustworthy parents can cause you to be distrustful, the unfulfilled childhood desire to trust is still present. So is it distrust, sound weird, or denial of your own reality? Yeah. The unconscious longing to trust leads to project trustworthiness onto certain people, particularly in close relationships, reminiscent of familial love, so reminiscent of those family loves, okay? This wish, coupled with dependency needs, including the need to be taken care of, cause you to deny, overlook, or rationalize data that would otherwise signal a lack of trustworthiness. When parents deny or contradict your reality, you also learn to discount your perceptions, feelings, and intuition. The combination of these forces influences you to trust people, especially those you love, whom others don't. All right. So I've told you about trust and I've told you about distrust, right? Now, how do you rebuild trust? So again, this is an overview because we're going to get into the nitty gritty in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
A little bit more of the hows and what to do. But once trust has been broken, an apology may not be sufficient to rectify damage to the relationship.
Right, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Not for a kid, not for a romantic person. Anything. That apology, it may not be good enough.
But I got flowers.
Yeah, but you didn't bring candy.
I'll go get some.
Explanations and excuses can make matters worse. 7 components are important. Okay, so we look at these. Again, this is an overview. Listen to the other person's anger and hurt feelings. Be open to listen. Don't cut them off. Be open to listen to what they're feeling. Empathize with them. Take a minute to go, okay, maybe I understand why they're feeling that way. Ask what is needed to prevent a recurrence. Be open to asking, what do I need to do to prevent this from happening again? Be conscientious to do all the things listed that show trustworthiness. Don't pick and choose. If you feel like, oh, I can do this, but I can't do this, you've got to be open to help each other build trustworthiness in each other. Take full responsibility for your actions. Don't sidestep the issue or try to shift blame to the other person. All that does is just cause more hurt, anger, and resentment. Make a heartfelt apology expressing your regret.
Here's where I get in trouble. I go, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings on that, but, and it's like, that wasn't even an apology.
Nope, because you put the butt on it.
I did. I get
not
caught
real.
with that one.
I'm not really sorry.
Yeah, I get called out on that one.
So what would be a better way to approach that, Kyle? So we're going to use you in this as an example.
Not have hurt her feelings in the first place would be the way.
Well, absolutely. But, I mean, you could also say, I'm sorry I did this, this, and this.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
But it's so hard.
I know, because you want to take the blame off of you and you want to shift it to them.
That's where that but comes
Dang
in.
it.
Yeah. It doesn't work.
But then you might be able to approach it, and we're going to get into this a little bit more in the next couple of weeks, of different ways of, we, us, not I, not you.
Sure.
I would feel, I would like us to be able to do this to help us, never doing the you.
Yeah.
Because you is just not a good thing.
Right.
So continue to have an open and honest communication. Open and honest communication about what happened is essential. Ask your hurt partner what he or she needs from you and any suggestions about what's needed to avoid repetition. Okay, I hit on that twice because that's important. Not only do you need to know what they need from you, but you also need to know what is needed to avoid repetition of whatever the behavior is. What do you need from them? What do they need from you to keep repetition of that breaking that trust from happening again? Whatever it is, because it may, again, I said it may not necessarily be infidelity. It may be other things. These questions show respect for the person's feelings and needs and will be appreciated. They go much further than a simple apology. If it's a serious betrayal, you can expand the conversation to include the relationship as a whole and discuss how you both can help the relationship. You may need assistance. I mean, this can happen if the problem reoccurs and you are having difficulty talking it through. You may need assistance of a professional therapist to help you communicate as a couple and also to uncover those causes and to help you navigate how to move forward. Seeking support outside the relationship isn't a sign of weakness. It shows commitment to the relationship and reassures the injured person that his or her partner is taking the problem seriously and willing to make an effort to change. Once trust has been broken, although it may seem as all is forgiven and back to normal, doubts and hurt often continue to linger in the aggrieved person's mind and heart. It may take months or even years for a serious wound to heal. Note that rebuilding trust may or may not be possible, but if you're willing to try, if the relationship is worth saving, if you're willing to work at it, get the help that you need. If you can't navigate it together, get counseling. There's all sorts of ways to help you through that. Sometimes having that third partner, that unbiased person in the middle of it can really help, each person look at it from a different perspective and bring light to the situation. So guys, I'm going to talk a little bit more over the next couple of weeks about this. I think this is just a huge issue for everybody. I mean, everybody's got issues with trust. I mean, unless you're just untouchable, more than likely you're going to have some issues with trust on some level, and it's just one of the biggest causes of arguments and stuff in relationships. So I think it's a big topic, and again, I'm going to talk about it over the next couple of weeks and kind of see what we can do. At Hope Counseling, we're always here for you. Remember, we've got offices in Comanche, Eastland, Dublin, and Hamilton. 325-356-1105. That's 325-356-1105. Hope Counseling of Texas, here for you, whatever we can do.
Can you do a rain dance?
I will do my best.
Okay.
I will do my best. I will try. I mean, it's not for lack of trying. I can promise that. But I think my kids need to do it more because they dance better than me.
Sure.
Anyway, so yeah. Hope Counseling, 325-356-1105, Comanche, Hamilton, Eastland, and Dublin. We're here for you. Let us know if we can do anything.
All right. Cynthia Newton, thanks as always.
Thank you.
Are you worried about being short on hay this year? We have alternatives.